First of all, we'd just like to thank everybody for coming out today for Wildfire Awareness Week. We have this event every year where we put the focus on making sure that not only are the citizens ready, but that the fire service is ready. I truly believe that the fire service is ready for this fire season. Now we really need the citizens to do their best to make sure that their homes are ready and protected. I'd first like to start off by thanking our hosts today, Ilma and Marshall Hamilton. This is their residence, and they have graciously allowed us to come here today to demonstrate that there are citizens living in the wildland-urban interface communities of California, and particularly here in Cambria, where this year we have a situation that's unprecedented. Today joining me, and I'm so pleased to have them with me, is the Director of CAL FIRE, Ken Pimlott, and the Chief of Fire and Aviation for Region 5 for the Forest Service, Chief Lagarza. There's also many other folks here. We have, of course, the Cambria Fire Department, the Cambria Community Service District, and we thank them, Chief Miller and President Rabinet, for having us here in Cambria and understanding the severity of the situation that we're all coming together to work on. We also have the Red Cross here today, and we have the National Guard, we have the County Office of Emergency Services, and I'm very pleased that we also have County Supervisor Representative Sherry McGee. Unfortunately, Supervisor Gibson, whose district we're in, wasn't able to join us because of a family situation, but certainly he understands and is committed to the cause of making sure that this community is protected as well as the rest of the county. And we have that support from all the county supervisors here in San Luis Obispo. The situation is certainly severe and certainly unprecedented, but as you can see by the people that have joined me today, we are committed, and we have the full force of local, state, and federal agencies ready to make sure that we're ready for this fire season. And with that, I'd like to have Chief Pimlott come up.
Thanks, Chief Lewin. Good morning, and thank you, Chief Lewin, for the opening comments. We spend every year, the first full week of May, we spend going statewide to get the fire prevention and preparedness message out across the state. And we hit multiple media markets, multiple communities, and it's really always on that same theme about, what the fire agencies and cooperators are doing to prepare, and then what the homeowners and property owners around the state need to do to prepare. This community has really taken this preparedness and the impacts of what we're seeing in a fourth year of drought to a new level. And in some respects, because of this community has taken this so seriously, much of the message that we talk about statewide, it's almost preaching to the choir here, because you're living it every day. And you really are the example and the model for the rest of the state about living with conditions and finding ways as a community cooperatively to work your way through it. And this part of the state, Cambria, is getting attention and discussion almost every day in Sacramento, and not just from the wildfire problem, but from all of the challenges you're facing, in this fourth year of drought. But we're certainly seeing conditions across California this year. Imagine, vegetation that is just critically parched from precipitation that is so far below normal that we're seeing fires year-round. This year, in really an unprecedented move, CAL FIRE did not completely downstaff its resources around the state. We kept 70 fire engines staffed throughout the winter months around the state, including Northern California, certainly here on the Central Coast and in other parts of Southern California and the Sierra. The governor, again, continuing this year, is taking a very aggressive approach to supporting early staffing for our resources, augmenting our resources with additional firefighters and company officers. We have 2 additional air tankers, large air tankers that are coming online to bolster our existing aviation fleet across the state. And again, we're doing the staffing in many cases 6 to 8 weeks early, even in those areas of Northern California that traditionally would still be green. Our fire activity is well above average. We have, to date, over 1,100 fires just for the first 4 months of the year, and that's over double what we would have on average. At the peak of fire season last year, we were seeing over 200 fires a week across California. And so the commitment from the state, and it doesn't happen without the partnership with all of the folks you see behind us, the California National Guard, the Office of Emergency Services, all of the local fire departments and agencies across the board. We do it together in California. That's how it works. But we're busy. 200 fires a week. Our goal is to prevent those large, damaging, rim fires like we saw in Yosemite, the King Fire over almost 100,000 acres in El Dorado County last year. That's what happens under these conditions when fires escape initial attack. They're going large. They're burning at explosive rates. On one day on the King Fire, the fire spread 15 miles. It was less than a day. It was over 40,000 acre growth. So our goal and our commitment is to continue to push to provide the resources and initial attack these fires to keep them small before they become that. But as you all know, and as you're living, we can't do it by ourselves. We need everybody statewide to step up and do many of the things that you're already doing, and that's take that responsibility for their own properties and the protection of their own families. And for us, it's very simple. It's following steps through what we call Ready, Set, Go. You've heard this before. It's nothing new, but this is an opportunity this year to really reiterate that message. And the ready part is so much of what's already been going on in this community, but it's really getting down to that individual homeowner about doing defensible space, about preparing, hardening your homes against wildland fire. It's ensuring that clearance is there, ensuring that addresses are clearly marked so firefighters can find your home. With this drought, we're in a completely different lens. And historically, we would talk about lawns as a greenscape and in resistance against fire. Well, we're not watering lawns. We are not doing lawns anymore. I think you've heard the governor say that, said it again last night and this morning. We're done with lawns. And what that means is the lawns are going to turn brown. And so what we now have to make sure that that it doesn't become more fuel for the fire, that dead grass. So as you're looking and working on your 30 to 100 feet of defensible space, make sure we remove the dead material for any of the plant material that we're no longer irrigating. So we have ready, and then we have set, and it's preparing, and obviously critical for this community, and I know you have been working on it critically, but for the broader audience, it is making sure that we have evacuation routes as homeowners. We know we have at least 2 ways out of our community. We've developed a disaster plan so that we know what we're going to take, we know what process we're going to use, so that ultimately we don't have to be thinking about those things when the fire actually occurs. And then lastly, it's the go part, and it's just simply that. It's to leave, and it's to leave orderly and early. When the fire is occurring, it's time to go, and certainly heeding the orders of law enforcement and firefighters so that you can do it safely and allow those firefighters to get in and help protect the community. I just want to leave you with my message that we are facing just unprecedented conditions in the state. We're doing everything that we can as the state, as our partners, to help in that. We're just going to have to work through and deal with these challenging conditions, and we just appreciate the community's support and engagement and the individual homeowners' engagement and support in the process as well, so we work together. So with that, I would like to turn the microphone over to Chief Lagarza from the Forest Service.
Thank you, Ken. Good morning. I'm Shauna Lagarza, the Director of Fire and Aviation Management for the Forest Service here in the Pacific Southwest region. And it is so nice to be out here in the woods, in this community, and seeing the work that's being done just around this house. For my entire career, we spend a lot of our time talking about thinning around your properties, whether you're a state agency or federal, and wherever you're at in the United States of America. I've worked in many places, and to come here locally, see these people right here with us together with all the agencies is just about making my whole day for this week, because this is what it's about. And this is just my second time traveling with CAL FIRE on the Wildfire Awareness Week, and this right here is a true example of a national cohesive strategy, that people are here together talking about a wildfire response together, talking about fire-adapted communities together, and looking at resilient landscapes. And so I was standing back there listening to Ken talk and smiling inside of me. So thank you. So thank you to all of you, all the public in this community, for leading the way. And thank you to the firefighters who showed up here today, and to all the firefighters out there for the work that you do. It's not an easy job being a firefighter. Spend a lot of time doing that, and sometimes I think you just want to say a thank you to a firefighter and thanks to their family. So as we know, the 4-year drought, the Forest Service has been staffing up earlier than normal. We did too bring on some helicopters and aviation earlier to help both fires on Forest Service lands and fires in other jurisdictions. We do know that we're going to be doing fire restrictions at a heightened level earlier than normal, and I believe your local area here is working on the next level restrictions for that, so I'll leave it to the local chiefs to talk about that. And so we know that when people go out into the woods or into the national forest or state lands, that they need to be prepared. And we have the One Less Spark, One Less Wildfire campaign that's out there. Just as a reminder, if you're knowledgeable of that and someone moves into your neighborhood, share that with people in your neighborhood with them. So if they are going to an area where they can have a campfire, that make sure they're putting it out, and always checking your tow chain if you're taking your boat, so it's not causing sparks on the road along the way as you're trying to get there, because then it's all the agencies responding to that as we move along. So it's just really nice to be here. I think about everything I'm seeing right here, and it's my 3 C's that I talk about to all my staff. My 3 C's I talk about to making this happen right here is communication, collaboration, and coordination. Communication, collaboration, coordination, and you guys are a prime example of that, so thank you for your efforts. With that, I'll turn it over to Chief Mark Miller.
Thank you, Chief Lagarza. I'm Mark Miller, Fire Chief of Cambria Community Services District. I want to thank you all for coming out today to our beautiful little community of Cambria with a very large and ugly fire problem at the tail end of this 4-year drought scenario that we're in. And I know it's not unlike any of the other forested communities in the state that are experiencing the same type of difficulties and challenges that we are. Although we are a small agency, we are an isolated agency. The problems appear to be insurmountable, but it's always been the hallmark of the fire service and the San Luis Obispo County area in the state to band together when times get rough. And we are feeling a very high level of support from all of you, and we would like to thank you. We are receiving a great deal of vision from our Community Services District Board, in particular President Robinette, on approaching this in a way that we can possibly transfer some of the knowledge over to the community to take responsibility for their own personal property here. We're looking at this in a number of ways, one being the community outreach approach. We have collaborated with CAL FIRE to knock on every door in the community and inspect the properties and advise the property owners of what they can do to protect their particular their dwellings and their areas, and also carry the message to them on evacuation procedures, the ready, set, go that Chief Pimlott mentioned earlier. And we will continue to do that. We have a number of events, public events, for the community to come out and interact with us to learn those evacuation plans and to practice the stuff that they need to do. I'm a firm believer that we need to be proactive as opposed to being reactive, in particular in this scenario. But I also want to make sure that everybody is very confident that our reactive approach is well coordinated as well. So with that, I'll end my comments, and I would like to introduce Cambria Community Services District Board President Gail Robinette.
Thank you. Well, I'm the shortest one so far. First of all, I just thank everyone here for the opportunity to be here today, because we do have, I believe, all agencies represented that keep us safe. And to have this event today here in our community is appreciated by everyone here. I will speak more from the community. Certainly we have heard already this morning the many things that are taking place with coordination and collaboration and really proacting. And so I want to speak a bit about actually the community and how much we have very much seen the drought, certainly as the state, as a challenge, but with challenge always brings opportunity. And so here we have had two events that I believe will make Cambria a better place. And there has been such great community cooperation. And the first one was, our first challenge was with our water supply and the possibility of running out. And again, I guess we're getting well known in Sacramento, and in a positive way, which is kind of exciting, because we did in fact pull together, again with all the cooperation of the agencies that are here to support us, and we did then actually complete a brackish water desal with a 6-month timeline. That's pretty much unheard of. Now we have the second opportunity, and it is an opportunity, and that is to do what we're hearing here today, to proact living in this beautiful Monterey pine forest that we live in, and actually take action now to keep our community, our citizens safe, and to protect as much of this forest as we can. So I have had I've had the privilege of sitting in on many conversations by now with the chief, with CAL FIRE, and we have been talking about the Ready, Set, Go, and we've been talking about not just talk anymore. We are actually taking action. And so there are people now in our community. We're working collaboratively with people going house to house, beginning the first real communication, conversation, face-to-face with our Cambrians on where they are and what they can do with their own surrounding properties for defensible space. And so it becomes a learning kind of journey, and it becomes something where, again, we're here to proact rather than react. And I know and respect the important work that every firefighter on every level here does for us every day. And so we want to be a part of it, not a problem to it. So I just appreciate bringing this opportunity to Cambria. Thank you very much. And, well, that was yes, and now it is my privilege to introduce Chief Garrett Olson. He is the president of the Chiefs Association.
Thank you so much. I had a 2-page bio for her, but she refused to read it. Good morning, I'm Garrett Olson. I'm the fire chief in San Luis Obispo City and the president of the San Luis Obispo County Fire Chiefs Association. This morning's gathering is really characteristic of the fire service. We have federal, state, county, local resources together with volunteer organizations with a singular mission. We are focused on protecting and serving our communities and our residents. This morning we come together and focus on the needs of Cambria, and within the last 12 hours our focus was something different but equally as collaborative and responsive to the needs of communities. As some of you who are local know, 12 hours ago a serial arsonist was running through the city of San Luis Obispo and started 6 fires in the span of 5 hours. That incident, those incidents quickly exacerbated the local resources in the San Luis Obispo City Fire Department, and without even needing to ask, our local partners in the fire service were already responding. Before I was even on scene, Chief Lewin had already reached out to me to let me know of resources that CAL FIRE was mobilizing to assist the city of San Luis Obispo. And I offer that to you in some regards as comfort to the residents of Cambria, that this is an area, a region of significant threat that we are all focused on. And if something does occur here, we will all be here. And that's not something new in the fire service. That is the mission and the model of the fire service, that all fires are local, and it just takes redistributing your local firefighters to make sure that those needs are met in the local communities. So the fire service has been coming together for a long time so that we could carry out our mission, albeit with limited resources. And the message today that I share with my fellow speakers is that we encourage residents to do the same, not just to take a look at this as a singular homeowner, but to take a look at this as communities, because the defensible space you create around your home protects your neighbor's home, and your neighbor's protection protects your home. So Cambria is a best practices model for a community coming together with that singular focus as a community rather than individual residents, and we encourage other communities to do the same. Thank you. With that, it's my pleasure to introduce Dan Turner. Dan is with the San Luis Obispo County Fire Safe Council.
Good morning. I'm Dan Turner with the San Luis Obispo County Fire Safe Council. Our president, Frank Meacham, Supervisor Frank Meacham, couldn't be here this morning. The Council of Governments meeting this morning he had to attend. The Fire Safe Council is a not-for-profit organization. We're not a government agency. We're made up of the citizens that come to focus on this particular problem, a fire safety problem. And we have a great cross-sectional representation of the county stakeholders in the private sector. This is a county-wide Fire Safe Council, and so we look at issues all over the county of San Luis Obispo. I'm really delighted to see one of our former Fire Safe Council presidents, Shirley Bianchi, standing over there. Shirley was a former supervisor for this district and was the president of the Fire Safe Council, and a great president. Good to see you. The Fire Safe Council is looking at issues countywide, and we're also very focused on what's going on here in Cambria. It's a unique community for this county, has a very unique problem going on right now. Our mission is to mobilize these various private functions. We have PG&E representation on our Fire Safe Council. We have citizen representation. We have Air Pollution Control District, Cal Poly University, Range Improvement Association, Cattlemen's Association. So we literally bring together as great a cross-section as we possibly can to get them to look at the problem and try to come up with solutions that work. We get some lively debates. Which is good. It's exactly what we wanted. We didn't want to fill a room full of people with one mind. We wanted disparate views and opinions, so we come out of this with the best possible solution for the community. Our mission is to move people from knowledge to action and community members. So figure out what those obstacles are that keep them from doing what they know needs to be done, and try to remove those obstacles, whether that's by providing grants to communities to do work, by providing chipping programs. We have a couple of neighborhood chipping programs that are going to take place here in Cambria in the next few days. You might have seen some of the piles of materials alongside the road. With one of our partners, CCCs, will come in and they'll chip that material so we can dispose of it. We have a lot of other great partners. The Forest Service is a good partner with us. Again, CCCs, CAL FIRE, the county fire agencies. We all work in this collaborative mode to try to come to a solution that works for everybody. We're particularly focused on Cambria right now because of the dead and dying problem in the Monterey pine. For many of you that live here, you recognize it. For some of you that are just visiting, you may not realize what's happening. But in the last 24 months, the amount of mortality in the Monterey pine has been significant. In upwards of 80% mortality in some parts of the stand here. That means 80% of the standing trees are dead. That's incredible. The concern for the forest health is paramount. The concern of community health is paramount. This is a 3,000-acre stand of Monterey pine. There's 6,000 people live in this stand of pines. So Mother Nature would have had a fire go through this and replace it because Monterey pine's a fire-dependent species. So it really wants to see a fire visit it periodically to regenerate and get new health. The Hamiltons' home here wouldn't like to see that fire come. So our purpose is to try to work with them and the rest of the community to have the home survive a fire event, be resilient to those fire events, and then return the forest to a healthy status. That's our objective and our mission. We have some great partners that are working with us on this particular problem in Cambria. Cal Poly University, a wonderful resource right here in our backyard, the forestry program, city and regional planning program, fire protection engineering program, they're all engaged. They're all in on helping us come up with solutions to the community problem here. I have Dr. Rich Thompson as the head of the forestry department at Cal Poly is here, and Dr. Chris Dykus, their fire and fuels management professor, is here, and a couple of their other professors are fully engaged to come up with a solution that runs to forest health and runs to community safety. It's a great project. We're working with some of the large landowners, the Covell Ranch, which is behind us here, the Fiscalini Ranch Preserve, Green Space, the Cambria Land Trust, the Rancho Marino properties, California Fish and Wildlife Service, state parks that are large landowners here to come up with management plans for their forest stands that will, again, focus on forest health and returning the community to safety. So with that, our message is let us help you remove the obstacles to getting action done. We're there to help. We potentially have funding available to do that. That's our mission. We enjoy doing it. It's an all-volunteer organization that's made up of great people, and we're here to help do that. And ready, set, go. It's a great message. Be fire safe inside and out. Another great message. And with that, I'd like to introduce to you our host. Marshall Hamilton is the homeowner here. Mr. Hamilton.
Welcome, everyone. It's a lot of guests. My family and I have a deep appreciation of the importance of being prepared for fires. About 20 years ago, when we lived in the mountains of Riverside County, we had to evacuate for 3 days. When the firefighter knocked at our door and said, it's time to evacuate, he said, I think we can save your house. I had done a lot of preparation, hauled a lot of trailer loads of dry brush away over the years before that. And when we were allowed to return after the evacuation, we were very grateful to see that our house was still there. We didn't know whether it would be or not. And it was an unusual feeling, a great feeling to see the people we had never met, the men and women of CAL FIRE around the area, defending our house, still putting out some hot spots here and there. There were people just down the street that had not done that preparation, and their procrastination cost them their homes. So we've been very grateful here for the work of Alan Peters and the men and women of CAL FIRE, the cooperation of the Covell family, and the help from the California Men's Colony to accomplish the fire break that's behind our property. It, certainly has, we understand how it has increased our safety here, and it's much more attractive than the mess was before it was done. So, welcome, and glad to see you all here. Thank you.
Okay, and with that, we first of all appreciate everyone here. We have the time now for any questions for any of